Tragedy struck home this week, taking the lives of 10 of our beloved community members, including a hero in the Boulder Police Department. Join us this week as we honor the victims of Monday's shooting. Welcome to Inside Boulder News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jocelyn Avendaño. The mass shooting on March 22nd was a tragedy unlike any our community has faced before. 10 people were killed, including a Boulder police officer. We mourn every life lost and strive to support our community through this challenging time. The suspect in the mass shooting at the South Boulder grocery store is currently in custody. He made his first court appearance this week. He's been charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted first-degree murder. We are not sharing his name or image as the city adheres to a no notoriety practice. In regards to these tragic events, Boulder Police Chief Maris Harold issued the following statement. Our hearts go out to all the victims killed during this senseless act of violence. We are committed to a thorough investigation and will bring justice to each of these families. The Boulder community is strong and compassionate, and I know we will come together to take care of each other during this time." End quote. The investigation is continuing. Anyone with information about this crime is being asked by detectives to submit it online on the website seen on your screen. Individuals can also call the tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI. For digital media, you can submit information at fbi.gov/Boulder shooting. The 10 people who lost their lives in the Boulder grocery store shooting range in age from 20 years old to 65. Here's what we know about each of the victims. Denny Stong was a 20-year-old King Soopers employee and a graduate from Fairview High School. Stong was an aspiring pilot and an active member of the Boulder Aeromodeling Society. Nevin Stanisic was a young man who loved his family very much. He leaves behind his parents and a younger sister. Ricky Olds, 25, was a front-end manager at King Soopers and aspired to work up the ranks of the grocery store. She is being remembered as a loyal friend and family member. Trelona Bartkowiak, who went by Lona, was a 49-year-old shop manager and organic Boulderite who was newly engaged and full of love and light. Terry Liker, 51, had worked at King Soopers for over 30 years. She was a Special Olympian and part of CU's Best Buddies program. Officer Eric Talley, Boulder Police Officer Eric Talley, died in the line of duty. He was the first officer to arrive at the scene of the shooting. Officer Talley had been with the department since 2010. He leaves behind his wife and 7 children. Suzanne Fountain was a 59-year-old well-known in the local Boulder theater community. She was also a Medicare agent who helped older adults. Kevin Mahoney, 61, a retired chief operating officer of hospitality and hotels and almost grandfather. Lynn Murray, 62, had a long career in renowned magazine photography in New York. She and her husband moved to Boulder to raise their children. She leaves behind her husband and 2 children. Jody Walter, 65, was a boutique owner on the Pearl Street Mall, a mother and grandmother. Our thoughts are with the victims, their families, and all those affected by this violence. Tributes continue to pour in all across Boulder as the community comes together to mourn the victims of this week's tragic event. Hundreds, if not thousands of people have stopped by the South Boulder grocery store to offer prayers, flowers, and other offerings in the growing memorial. The chain fence closing off the access to the store has now become a wall of flowers and loving messages. The same thing is also happening across town at the Boulder Police Department, where Officer Talley's patrol car has become a home to the community's offerings and overflowing support. The community came together once again on Wednesday afternoon to show their support as Officer Eric Talley was escorted from the coroner's office to a funeral home. The Boulder Police Department thanks everyone who lined the roadways, overpasses, and more to show their support. Community members and groups have come together all this week to hold vigils, memorials, and other events to honor victims of this tragic mass shooting in Boulder. These events are not organized by the City of Boulder. The city is asking for people to check local event listings for more information on these community-led virtual and in-person events. Please visit the website seen on your screen for more information. Boulder has received an outpouring of support from across the nation since the tragic Boulder shooting. The city thanks everyone for their outpouring of kindness during this difficult time for our community. If you'd like to show your support for victims, their families, and the Boulder community, there are some organizations currently accepting monetary donations. Donations for Officer Talley can be made through the Colorado State Lodge Fraternal Order of Police or the Boulder County Injured and Fallen Officer Fund. The Colorado Healing Fund is collecting donations to support the needs of victims, families, and the larger community affected by the Boulder tragedy. Community Foundation Boulder County has announced that the Boulder County Crisis Fund to support those impacted by the Boulder supermarket shooting. The city recognizes that this is a challenging time for our community. We've rounded up some resources community members can reach out to if they need mental or emotional support. Anyone who needs mental or emotional support can visit Via Mobility on the address seen on your screen. You can also call or text the Disaster Distress Line helpline at 1-800-985-5990. Naropa Community Counseling is also offering their services. They can be reached at the website seen on your screen. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Inside Boulder News. Connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe. And be sure to check out the city's online newsroom for the latest city news. We'll see you next time.